Hello everyone, Olena Hassel here, and today I'll be sharing my bread butter pudding recipe that was awarded the best by my husband. For those of you who don't know me, I can usually be found on Instagram Manjelka, where I share my easy recipes that are healthy and impactful. My recipes are very easy to do, even my 5-year-old can do them, and they're beautiful because I believe beautiful food tastes much better. Follow along and see. We'll need 6 slices of toast bread, 2 tablespoons of butter, some eggs, milk and vanilla seeds, and a handful of raisins. I've got my ingredients lined up and I'm ready to start cooking. My white Italian bread just came out of the freezer and I'm going to cut it in half and then into triangles. And don't worry if it's different sizes. I got my bread cut and all the corners are pointing in the same direction. It's much easier to line them up like this and to butter them, note with soft butter. I'm buttering my bread lightly on one side only, and frozen bread and soft butter made things much easier. As you can see, I buttered all of my bread and it's not perfect and it's very light. And this is how much butter I've used. Assemble those bread pieces into this 8.5-inch dish. We'll butter it first. Butter it with a frozen piece of butter because it leaves a very thin layer. The fun part. So what we want is this middle corner to be pointing upwards where the crust is, because that's where we want it to be very crusty. There we go. One by one we'll be arranging them like this, and I'm going to put one under another, and it's very tricky. I had to turn it round a bit so that it's easier. This way, and all around the perimeter of this dish. One layer is assembled, and you can see it's sort of resting on the edges. That's the easiest way, I think. And now I'll do the middle layer. And here we'll just fan them out in a fun way, so that the end result looks quite beautiful. I tried and tried, but my bread is sort of limp and it's not really cooperating. But don't worry, we'll cover them with fruit and with custard, and it will look gorgeous. It's time to make the custard. We'll need eggs, sugar and milk, as well as vanilla pod and raisins. My eggs are in there, and it's about half a cup here or 100 grams of sugar. I use cane sugar, which is much more natural and a bit healthier. Here I'm beating eggs and sugar lightly, and I'll cover them with the milk. Milk is in, together with raisins. And now time for vanilla. I'm going to cut it lengthwise and I'm going to scrape the seeds out of half of it. If you ever wonder where to get vanilla, I got mine on eBay and it's Madagascar bourbon kind, grade A. Delicious. Inside of the vanilla bin looks like, and these are all the seeds that I'm going to put in here. Custard is ready. Fruit is washed and oven is on for 400 degrees. The fruit is cut and now I'm going to put it piece by piece on top of the bread pudding and under the bread slices, any way you want it. What I've done here, I love apricots, but you could use anything you want. You could use peaches, strawberries. You can't use watermelons because it's too watery. The bread pudding decorated, and now we're pouring the custard in, just into the middle layer. And note how all the raisins are on the bottom. Now they're nicely soaked, and they'll end up on the top of the bread pudding and will be nicely crisp. Now look how beautiful it is. And note please that some pieces have never been soaked with this custard. The raisins are mostly in the liquid. You want your raisins in the liquid so that they don't crisp up too much and don't burn. This way they'll be nice and soft. The middle is all sort of soggy. The tops are nice and dry, the middle is all soggy, and I'm going to just spray a little bit of oil on top. Into the oven it goes for 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 minutes to an hour. And if you see the tops are burning, cover it. See you in about an hour. While the pudding is in the oven, I'm going to do some fruit roses, which I learned from my friend Christine at Conscious Cooking. Have you seen her at Feedfeed convention? What I like to work with is apricots, which are my favorites. strawberries and plums, because the insides look very different to the outside. If there's anything I could share is you have to use soft fruit, you have to slice it very thin with sharp knife, and then be very patient. I got my fruit thinly sliced, and you can see they're very responsive. You can move them and they'll bend over. And now I'll see if I can arrange a rose. You want some space, and you want to arrange it in a sort of a snake tube fashion. And the thinner the snake, the better it is. You've already seen tons of videos on Instagram and on internet, but if you haven't, here it is, and it's easy to do at home with one hand. There it is, and I love all the speckles on top of this lovely apricot fruit. So you just rotate it, turn it, turn it, turn it, and there you go. You see I made it with one hand, with my left, although I'm a righty, and you want to leave it intact until you're ready to use it. One piece to take away is you want soft fruit and you want a long snake of thin slices arranged, and then you're ready to start. And another piece of advice for those perfectionists out there, the ones like me, you actually want it imperfect. You want those slices to be a bit worn. To check on our bread pudding, and it's raising, it's swelling, it's looking great. It's almost time to cover it so that the tops are not burned. And back to rose making. Out of all of this, I always find strawberry to be a bit tricky because it's not as soft. But if you line them up one by one, so with strawberries, just try to create an extra long and thin snake. And then I think I'll need 2 hands to do this one. Actually, it's not so bad. It's pretty good. See, our garden is looking pretty swell, but it will look even better on the plate when I start pulling back the petals. Stay tuned. Smell has been so overwhelming. I decided to check, and look at this. Look at how much it raised. It's swollen, it's breathing. I think bread pudding is ready, and it's looking twice as big as it was when I put it in. This is looking really rather fabulous. Bird's eye view. Wanted to point out a few things. This is looking nice and crisp. This is looking nice and chewy, and the middle is nice and sweet. The apricots look like little gems, and it's just spectacular. I can't wait to try. So now that the bread pudding has cooled off, it's time to serve it. It's nice to serve it warm. Now time to put it next to the roses. And I'm trying to sort of open up the roses as they're already on the plate. Just to go over what we've been through. We made bread pudding today. We also made some fruit roses. And we ate it all. And it tastes... It's time to try the fruits of labor. Very, very good. That's it for today. I'm all done. Thank you so much for having me. And if you wanted to see any more recipes, please just find me on Instagram, Manjelka. Hope you like what you've seen, and please connect with me through Instagram or through Snapchat. I'd love to hear from you. I love connecting with you all. If you wanted to do a Snapchat takeover yourself, please just contact Feedfeed by email or Snapchat. They'll be happy to have you. Thank you.